Alright guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing these magnetic filters from K&F Concept. So let's get into the video. Alright guys, Neil from Neil Collins Recording. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back to my channel if you're not. Either way, appreciate you watching this video. So today I'm going to be reviewing these ND filters from K&F Concept. I've taken you to a bit of a new location today. Thought we'd get outside, nice day. Bit windy, but hopefully the mic's not picking up too much of the wind. We can get out a little bit more now with the whole COVID restrictions being lifted a little bit. So I thought we'd get out and it'd be a good place to test out some of these filters. First of all, I'll just show you what you get. So you get this nice little bag, okay? And it's got like 4 compartments for each of the filters, and each filter is individually wrapped in this plastic, so you know that they've been protected before they get to you, which is nice. Just going to run through each of the filters that you get before we test them out. So the first one we get isn't actually a filter, it's the magnetic ring that goes on to your camera lens. So this just screws onto your lens as such, and this is the magnet that your filters are going to attach themselves to. It's not actually a filter, but it is an important part of the process. So we've screwed that on. Okay, so now we've got, again, all wrapped up. Next one we've got is just a UV filter, okay? So nothing fancy about this one. It doesn't actually add anything to the picture itself, but it does protect your lens from any scratches, dust, sand, anything when you're out and about. So if you've got expensive lenses, then, well, if you've got any lenses, then this is a great way of protecting them without actually adding anything to the picture. It's important that you give all these filters a good clean, because the last thing you want is a filter with dust or dirt on it, because then that will introduce it into your photos or video, and then that just attaches itself to the magnet like so, okay? If you wanted to, you could just get rid of the ring and just attach the UV filter straight to your lens, so you eliminate that ring. So this one you can attach straight to the lens, but I'm not going to do that, and for the purpose of this tutorial I'm not actually going to use the UV filter, but it is a good thing to have, protect your lens. So far so good. So the next one we've got, and this in terms of video is probably the most exciting one, is this circular polarizer filter. So it's got a bit of a tint to it. So I'll show you this in use in a minute. What this will do, it will change the reflections in the water. It's a bit like magic, this one. No one really knows how it works, but you turn it and it just takes off glare from the water and certain other glares, depending where you're looking with the camera. I'll show you that in use in a minute, but that's the other one you get. And then the last one you get is this ND filter. It's a bit like sunglasses for your camera, this one. It gives your camera an extra 10 stops, keeps a lot more light out. So you can have your lenses more open and still let a lot of light in. So it's good for keeping a bit of bokeh when you're out shooting in direct sunlight. So we'll try that out in a minute as well. So in this tutorial I'm going to be focusing more on the video side of things, as I'm primarily a videographer. But these filters are also decent for photography, and as I go through I'll show you some examples of some long exposure photography that I'll be doing at the same time, just so you get an idea of what the lenses do in terms of photography. But like I said, this tutorial is focused primarily on video. You'll be able to find a lot of other tutorials that are more focused on the photography side of things. So let's go and test these lenses out for video. So this is what it would look like in effect with no filter. So if we take the filter off, that's what it looks like without the filter on. Now I put the filter on, taking a little bit of those reflections off already. But watch what happens if you look at this bit of the image, and watch what happens to the reflections when I turn it. Okay? Magic, isn't it? So all those reflections have now disappeared, and if I twist it back, it brings the reflections back into the image. Okay, so watch it again, I'll just twist it. See all those reflections disappear. So you get a totally different image just by twisting this ring. So I'm going to have some real fun with this. Not only that, it's great if you're shooting through car windows, things like that. I'll show you that when I get back to the car. I'm going to show you a little bit more of this circular polarizer voodoo magic. Watch the wing mirror reflection turn into a Coke can. There you go. Hey, look at that. Magic. It's just magic, I think. So you can see how you can just get rid of all these unwanted reflections just by twisting circular polarizer. Look at all the reflections on this pond. Twist it and all the reflections just disappear. It's good, isn't it, this? I really like this polarizer. I think I'm going to use it a lot. Just really cleans up the image. Shame the pond's brown, but hey ho. But yeah, that's what you get. So if you've got like a lake, waterfall, sea, anything with reflections from the sun, and you can get rid of those reflections, or most of them, just by twisting this ring. So it's a pretty cool bit of gear to have. You can see what the circular polarizer does. Now I'm going to put on the ND filter and I'll show you what that does to the image. Again, this just sticks straight onto the magnet. Good thing about these filters is you can use more than one. So I can leave that circular polarizer on and I can just stick this to the circular polarizer, or I can take the circular polarizer off and stick it straight onto the lens ring. So, stick it on, see what it looks like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the ND 1000 filter now. And as you can see, it goes very dark very quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up the f-stop on my camera all the way up to 1.4, give us a little bit more light. It's still a bit dark, so we're going to bring the ISO up to 800, and that's a little bit better. So usually if you're outside you'll be shooting with a really high f-stop so you can keep a lot of the light out, but what that means is you don't get a shallow depth of field, so everything's in focus and it's all a bit samey, which works for a lot of things, but if you do want to keep that bokeh, then put an ND filter on and then you can bring your f-stop right down and you can still keep a lot of the light out. So let's just have a look at the image and see what it does. Okay, so if we get me in focus, can't really see, but I think that's good enough. So now I'm in focus and everything else is blurred out behind. Now, if it's middle of the day, bright sunshine, without an ND filter, you wouldn't be able to get this bokeh effect because you'd have to have the f-stop up so high that you wouldn't get the separation in the background. So having one of these ND filters really makes a massive difference to the image, the video. And enables you to shoot shots with really nice bokeh in the middle of the day. So these ND filters are a really useful bit of kit to have. Now obviously ND10 is quite a high ND filter. I usually use variable ND filters. I'll leave a link below. It's a K&F Concept one. You can adjust the amount of light you're letting in. But this one is fixed at ND10, so it's quite a high density. But, you know, you can get some really nice bokeh with it, like I showed you. Now I was a bit in the shadows there. That's just because I'm shooting directly into the sun. If I was side on like this, actually let's just do that now. And we'll do the same thing. I've still got the filter on, so we're going to do the same thing, but get to see me a little bit more. That's f22, this is f1.4. So you can see the difference. It might not be totally in focus, can't 100% see what's going on because of the sun. But that's what the ND filter does. That's without, that's with. You can see all the rocks, there's a bit of bokeh, there's some separation. I'm popping a little bit more in this one if I'm in focus. Brings out whatever you're focused on, separates it from the background. There's that one. It's a nice shot, but it's just an overall shot. This one has separation. So in both of these images, my hair looks ridiculous. Can't do anything about that. That's called lockdown hair. Getting that sorted soon. But yeah, so you can see the differences between the two. Okay, so price-wise, all these filters and the little bag is getting about 90 quid, £90 on Amazon. So it's a real bargain. They're primarily really promoted for photography, for long exposure photography, but filters and polarizers especially are great for video. So photographer or videographer, I recommend getting these. Like I say, the ND10 is quite a high density filter, so you might also need a lower density ND filter. But you know, for £100 or £90, you get the UV filter, the polarizer and the ND filter. And I just really like the system. Like, I love the way they just all slot onto each other. And they're not going anywhere. Like, you can shake that around and they ain't coming off. The magnet's really strong. So, really nicely made filters. Scratch resistant, so you ain't gonna scratch them. Just a really nice overall product. I've really enjoyed using these today and I'm definitely going to get some good use out of them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video despite the stupid hair. If you have enjoyed it, found it useful, please do give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below, let me know if you use filters on your lenses. If you're not already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Releasing content on a Monday and Thursday at the moment. Audio and visual gear reviews, editing tutorials, drone tutorials, all that sort of thing. So it'd be great to have some new faces on board. If you're already subscribed, as always, really appreciate you watching these videos. It means a lot to me. But if you could give it a like, shoots me up the old YouTube algorithm. And make sure your notifications are turned on so I can let you know when new content is released. Just realised these waves are quite loud, so hopefully that hasn't ruined the audio too much. Thanks to the good people at K&F Concept for sending me these to review. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to find these really useful. So that's it for this one. Catch you in the next one.